May not be visible when life is going smoothly, but it's in times of trouble that character is put to the test. I'm William Shatner. Tonight on Rescue 911, true stories of heroism that show what we are truly capable of achieving. We begin on August 31st, 1991, outside the small town of Mariba in Australia, a country known for its exotic wildlife and untamed beauty.
We've got the top 11 deadly snakes in the world here in Australia, and the most dangerous snake in Australia is definitely the taipan. They get in multiple bites in the same amount of time that it takes a normal snake to strike once.
Brian Eakin was just visiting the area and had gone down to the Barron River to go swimming with his family.
Well, I grew up with all the stories of taipan snakes. I always remind the kids if they're going down the river to be very careful where they're walking and, don't be running through bushes and that sort of stuff.
An average healthy adult male given a decent bite from a taipan, 10 minutes to half an hour without first aid, and they're cactus.
Clive Brady lived near the river and was on his way home after enjoying a swim. When we continue.
While walking along a riverbank near Mariba, Australia, 63-year-old Clive Brady was bitten by a taipan snake, one of the world's deadliest, whose poisonous venom is capable of killing a man within minutes.
Mate, can you help me?
What's the problem?
I need help, mate. I've been bitten by a snake. I'm coming over.
No, stay where you are, mate. We'll come across to you. Just lay on the ground. I tell you, that's one of the things with being bitten by a snake, that you just to lay down and take it easy, stay calm.
Bend the knee there. We've got his taipan.
I went into panic as soon as he said taipan. He was saying how his vision was going, so I thought things are happening pretty fast,
Brian took off to find a phone to call for help. And the first building he happened upon was a local hospital.
It took me a while to sort of compose myself and get my breath back to tell them there was a man bitten by a snake down the river.
You all right? Is anybody down there with you?
While the head nurse called for an ambulance, nurse trainee Bernie Jotonen volunteered to check on the victim.
I thought, it's probably nothing. Bit of an adventure, go down the river. Never even been down there yet. But I just thought, oh, just in case it might be serious, we'll take a few bandages with us.
I was glad that she came with me. That was a great relief to me to know there was professional help there.
I didn't have any experience as a nurse. As a trainee nurse, it's just basic care, making beds, basic hygiene care. No responsibility, really. He was pale, sweating, but then I still thought, oh, this man's put himself into his own shock.
Done me about 6 or 7 times, I think.
You sure it was a taipan?
Yeah,
You've
you
seen
don't-
plenty of them before, have you?
Don't mistake those buggers.
How's your breathing?
Oh, not too good.
All right, we'll go and get this ambulance. I think he was starting to panic, saying, where's the ambulance? And we were trying to reassure him and telling him it was coming, but in the meantime, we were pacing up and down the bank ourselves, hoping to God that this ambulance would turn up.
I should have gone to the races with my wife like she asked me to.
Should always listen to your missus, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
That'll teach you for future. I could tell that Clive's condition was deteriorating, and I thought, I'll try and keep him in consciousness as long as possible. So I kept talking to him. What were you doing down here?
I've been for a swim.
By that time, I was quite worried. What's your name?
Clive.
Clive who?
Clive Brady.
Clive? Clive? I was scared out of my wits when Clive went unconscious on me. I rolled him onto his side, and lifted his head back, letting him get as much air as possible.
Within 5 minutes of the call, Queensland Ambulance Service attendant Steve Quasm arrived on the scene.
There was a considerable amount of blood running down the patient's leg, and I realised then that the victim had obviously been bitten by a snake several times and possibly had bitten into a vein.
I've stabilised his leg. How's his breathing?
It's fine, but his pulse is getting lower.
Okay, get that strip.
Taipan venom is unique in that it's got a detergent factor in it. Its sole function is to move the venom components around the main circulatory system as quickly as possible. 30 seconds to a minute, and most of the venom's already travelled around his system.
More than 10 minutes had passed since Clive was bitten by the snake.
The longer the venom's in the system, unneutralised, the more damage it does.
With the current, the mud, and the weight that we were carrying, Brian and I both slipped pretty badly, and I said, we'll drown the poor bugger before we get him to the other side.
Now, easy, son. Get down. Come on, up there, try and keep him lit.
Put him down, he stopped breathing. I saw that he'd gone blue.
You start doing the, I'll go get the occupied.
I just stood there in disbelief and went, you do CPR, you're better at it. But Steve was already off. Steve! I'd only done CPR on a mannequin. I had a big fear about doing CPR on a person, not doing it properly, breaking their ribs, not even hitting the heart when he did push down, so doing it on a person was very different. I felt for his carotid pulse, and his heartbeat was back then, but it was quite irregular.
What are his wrists and what is his pulse?
Got a pulse of 20.
Pulse of 20, right? Respirations?
I was racing against the clock as far as Clive was running out of time. This was very obvious to me.
My young bloke said to me, he said, Dad, I think Mr. Brady's hat's on the other side of the river. And I said to my son, I said, where Mr. Brady's going, I don't think he'll need a hat anymore.
Clive was driven the short distance to Mariba District Hospital, where he was examined by emergency physician Cheryl Harnischweger.
What's the story here, Steve?
He was vomiting profusely. He had a low blood pressure, complained of being dizzy and having abdominal pain. It was obvious that we needed to give him antivenin immediately and that we didn't have the luxury of waiting for the snake venom kit to give us an accurate idea of which snake it was. We proceeded to give him polyvalent antivenin, which covers all poisonous snakes in Australia.
I knew by then that Clive wouldn't have a good chance of making it because he was quite serious. Felt like a leaden heart to go in, see his wife sitting there, and I didn't know what to say to the lady. Mrs. Brady? Mrs. Brady, your husband was bitten. I was trying to give Mrs. Brady hope, but I hoped I wasn't lying to her. He's still quite ill, though.
His uncle had been bitten by a snake years ago and he died. So I was very concerned. I was covered in dirt and blood and looked like he'd been through the battlefield.
The next time I go,
But he seemed to be on the mend, you know.
You'll be okay now.
Yeah.
Just looking after you. You're in good hands.
Yeah, they're good people. 63-year-old Clyde Brady was hospitalized for 5 days. But amazingly, he survived the deadly snake bites. A year later, the memories are still vivid.
Sickness, there's no sickness like it. It's worse than the worst hangover that you could ever imagine from grog. But I feel really well now. I think I'm as good as what I was 15 years ago. Probably even better now that I don't have to go to work every day.
You see these bugs, eh?
Clive did suffer one unusual side effect from the taipan snake bites. The venom caused the hair on his leg to fall out.
Took about 6 months for the hair to grow again. When the hair come, it come blacker and thicker than ever it was. And some of my mates says, well, next time get him to bite you on the head. It'll put a bit there too, you know. So, yeah.
The family sent me a bunch of flowers, which was really lovely. But I still don't think I did anything special. I just did what I was trained. And I just think he was born under a lucky star. That's all. He's got to be born lucky.
Got the mushroom there a while ago, ain't you? I think I can still go and have a beer with me mates, and tell a few lies and go fishing and whatnot, you know. Yeah. Oh, you want to hang on to life whatever you can and enjoy it whatever you can, you know. Just go and burying your head in the sand like a bloody sandpiper if something's happened is no good for you, you know. You won't live long that way. Yeah. Do what you like to do, you know. Yeah. That's what I reckon, anyhow.